Hello and welcome to another tutorial for Puckface International Fantasy Hockey. Today we're going to be talking about player stats and how to read them, what you're looking for, and what all the little things mean. So when you're on the league page, you can actually click onto My Team, and it'll bring up, of course, your team. And we're just going to take a look at some of these headings here, and this will help you understand exactly what's going on here. So the first column here is skaters. So we have a certain number of slots for forwards, for defense, and then a utility spot. Now a utility spot can be a forward or a defense. And then you have bench spots. So now the excuse me. So the spots here, so you only can have this number of forwards and this number of defense, and then the utility playing at any given time. The players that you have on the bench here are not going to earn you any points while sitting on the bench. If we scroll down just a little bit farther, we can actually see the goalies as well down at the bottom here. So we talked a little bit about moving around your players in another tutorial, so I won't get too much into it, but let's take a look in the next column. Players, team, and position. So you've got the player's name, their team, Pittsburgh, and their position forward. Now you'll also see some icons here. These will come up when there's breaking news, of course, for the player. If you want to get to know the player a little bit better, just click on their name and you can see their stats and a little bit of a summary. And this is all relevant to fantasy hockey as well, and there's some more information up here if you want to get into it. Action, of course, is to move them around and to set your lines. Moving on, we've got the date here. So this is whatever date you happen to have chosen up here. So in this case, today, January 19th, which of course is tomorrow for most because we're in Australia and they haven't started playing yet. But for the ones that are in North America, it will be on correctly. So we can see who they're playing, the opponent. So in this case, Pittsburgh is playing Philadelphia at 3 p.m. Standard Time Eastern. So that's like New York time in the United States. And you can see all your players that are playing. If they don't have anything there, then they're not playing. That team isn't playing. So in this case, Buffalo is not playing tomorrow. San Jose is not playing tomorrow. Edmonton's not playing tomorrow. So you probably want to have these players down on your bench because they're not going to earn you any points. But you can see I don't have any extra forwards that are actually playing to play up here, so I'm going to have one spot where I'm not earning any points right there. Moving on, we've got your stats. So this is right now set to 2013 season skating projections. You can change this so you can see how they did last year, how they did the last 30 days, all of the 2013 season, which of course is nothing because they haven't started playing yet, and the different breakdowns on a per day basis, per week, etc. So let's put it back to the 2013 projections. So you've got goals, you've got assists, and you've got penalty in minutes, and this is what they're projected to do. And then you've got your point totals. These are your fantasy points, which is a calculation based off of how well they're performing in a few different categories, and then your average per game that these players should be getting you. So the way that our scoring works is that you're going to be playing against another fantasy team for a whole week, and the goal is to try to get the most number of points during that week, in which case you win that entire round. So that's what we have here. So it's the grand total of your players that are playing and earning you points in these positions. And remember, if they're down on the bench, they're not going to earn you any points, so you got to move them around. You can set your lines up on different days, and there is another tutorial about setting your lines, so check that one out. Research, percentage owned. So in the universe of ESPN Fantasy Hockey, 100% means that 100% of the leagues that are in the ESPN Fantasy Hockey universe own Evgeny Malkin. 100% own Milan Lucic, etc., etc. Now you can see that you're going to have a lot of players that are really low down, and that has to do with the fact that we have quite a big league. We've got 18 teams where the average is probably closer to 10. So we're going a lot deeper into the player list, which is why a lot of your players will have low ownage on them. That's okay. It's just going to happen. Every team has that. but you're going to have a lot of really good players as well. The plus and minus is basically the trend. So you can see Jamie McGinn has gone up 0.1% in ownage recently. The red ones indicate that they're going down. So you can see which way they're trending. If you happen to have one that's particularly high or low, you can just see what basically everyone is doing. So all this is important when you're looking at other players that you want to acquire for your team, whether it be on someone else's team or if you're picking them up from free agencies or off of waivers. So let's take a look at free agency and waivers. So you click on players, and you want to make sure that available is selected. If you're doing general research, you can do all, and it will show you all the players. But if you're looking at available, these are the ones that are available to be picked up off of either waivers or from free agency. You can tell they're on waivers because they'll have an orange plus sign here, and it will be claim, or they'll have a green, and you can add them, and that means they're a free agent that you can pick up. What a waiver means is that the player has been dropped from another team. So Eric Furr was owned by someone, that person dropped them, and you can claim them. Now the reason why this is important is because if more than one team claim Eric Furr, the person with the higher waiver priority, so you can see waiver order, I'm number 17, so I'm pretty low, but if someone else was to claim Eric Furr who has a higher waiver order, they would then win that waiver, and that player would go to their team instead of mine. Players that you're adding you can just pick up right away because they are free agents. So you can take a look, there's their projected stats. You can see what they did last year and over the last 30 days. Same thing as on your team page, you can see what all those different stats will do and how they are relevant to the players that you're picking up. Now we're going to take a look at quickly at doing trades with other teams. Let's say you've sussed out someone. Here we go. And you want to do a trade. So you want to pick out, say, Olli Jokinen. Proposed trade, which is right up at the top there. Click. Proceed to next step. Then you choose the one that you want to trade. And then you would go finalize trade offer. Now in some cases, you might be trading one really good player for two average players. And in that case, you might run out of space on your roster, so you would actually have to drop someone off of your roster to make room for the additional player that's going out. Now, no one else will know who that player is unless they're paying attention to the waiver wire. But generally speaking, you won't know who that player is that you're dropping. It will say this team has dropped an undisclosed player as part of the trade. Oops. In this case, I'm actually going to cancel this trade offer. But that's basically how the trades work. You will get a notification in your email, but you'll also see on My Team an area right in between your set your lineup and your tabs right here will have your movement reviews. So you can actually see if you've got any trades or if you're picking up any players. That basically covers all the movement of the players between teams, between the waiver wire, and between the free agency. If you have any questions, feel free to get on the boards, get onto the Smack board, contact us on the Facebook page, or contact me directly, and we'll do our best to sort it out. And have fun, and we will see you when the games start.